Start off.
Uh-huh.
All right. So today we're gonna learn ancient. Today we're gonna learn ancient Egyptian style of drawing bird and animals. All right. So in order to draw ancient style, we have to learn the general way of drawing a bird and animals. So this is how we do it generally. Let me just share the screen. Okay, this is the bird. T'as fermé, Olivia, t'as fermé au hasard? T'as fermé le... Okay, okay, okay. You... All right. Okay, this is the bird. The bird that I drew a couple of weeks ago. And Su Hong has already learned this class. But for two of you, I believe you haven't. No, Olivia, right? Am I right? Okay, good. So this is the bird. So when we decide to draw a bird, the first step for us, like I said last time, we have to simplify the object, which means we have to chisel off all the unnecessary details, like see this bird, like we can cut off the beaks, cut off the talons, feathers, until step by step we get two or several basic structural forms. So when I take off the beak, when I take off the neck, take off the talons, wings, and tails, and this is what we get. All right. So please take up your paper and pencil and draw, follow me as quick as possible because this is the exercise. I'm not gonna wait for you. Whether or not you can draw a very perfect image, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you know the process, okay? So you just quickly follow my steps. So in order to draw a bird, this is the first thing we draw. An oval, and on top of the oval, we have a circle. Apparently, this circle stands for the head. All right, the oval stands for rib cage. So when this is done, we have the basic structural forms. Can start with. All right, so this is the next step. So when the oval and circle is done, then we begin, you see, first, we cut off the details. We chisel off a lot of details from a real bird until we get some basic structural forms, which is oval and circle. Now we begin to add things instead of cutting off. We add things step by step. First, we draw half a circle on the oval, which stands for the wing, and very tiny little small circle at the right position of the head. Apparently, this is the eye, and also one line stands for the beak, and at the bottom of the body we add another long feather. Even though it is not precise, but still we can see a bird is slowly taking the form. All right. You have to draw very quick. Whether or not it's a good, it doesn't matter. Okay. What matters is the step. You have to know the steps. All the steps that we take in order to draw a bird, a general bird. It doesn't mean this is an Egyptian style bird, Chinese style bird, or Indian style bird. It's just a bird, general bird. All right. This is the basic knowledge. All right. So as the bird on my sketch, slowly taking the form by adding more and more details, it's becoming more and more realistic. All right. So this is the second step. You see, we see more details. Like at the tip of the wing, we see some feathers lined up. So it looks more like a wing. And also at the head, we see the eye is clearer. And also the beaks, we can see two beaks actually. And the neck, the back of the neck, and at the bottom, beside the tail, we see some two talons is getting more and more precise. And at the tip of the talon, we see some claws. So this way, the bird is getting more and more real. It's more and more convincing. So that's the way we do it. First, whatever we see, we just simplify them, make them into very simple, easy structural forms. Like the bird, maybe the color is a very attractive. It has many different kinds of feathers. It doesn't matter. Just cut all the necessary details off, chisel off. That's it's raining really hard here. All right. So now we're adding more details. So you can see the bird. Let's go back. From this, we can barely tell whether or not it's a chicken or a snowman or a bird. But slowly, as we add more and more details, you see this is the second step. And then this is the third step. So it's getting more and more convincing. All right. So this is the bird. So as we continue, in the end, this is what we get. All right, with all the details, the feather, the claws, and the scales on the talon, the beaks, it's pointy, it's sharp, the eyes. You see, we add more details, even some colors onto it. And also we can see some black tones with different values. Can easily make the different parts of the bird, like the bees, like the talons, like the feathers on the wings. All right, this is the bird, how we make a bird. Okay, I'm gonna go back a little while and share something else. Okay, according to the list shown on my screen, Olivia, can you tell me how you hold your pencil? Let's take a look. Can you show us how you grab your pencil? How you hold your pencil? Can you show us on the screen? No? Lift your hand. Let's see your hand. All right. You hold your pencil like this, right? Okay, good. Su Hong, show us how you grip it. Su Hong. Let's see how Su Hong is holding it. Pretty much the same, but slightly different. Okay, Olivia, put it down. Su Hong, put it down. Donald, can you show us how you hold your pen? All right, perfect. Good. This way of holding it, we call it tripod grip. It's like a tripod. We're using 3 fingers. But you have to know that in painting, in drawing, there is another way. Holding the pen like this. All right? It's an overhand grip. It's very easy. It looks like that. Looks like you're holding some baton or something. You hold it like that. It's overhand grip. It's loose. Why? Because you see, when you are holding your pencil like this tripod grip, you have to move all the time your wrist. So maybe a couple of later or some minutes later, you will feel sore on your wrist. But using this kind of gripping skill, which is overhand grip, you are using both your elbow and shoulder. So your wrist is not getting so tired. All right, this is something that we will learn in the future. But today we can go back to the tripod grip. But it's good to know that actually in the drawing we have some other more efficient, more professional way of holding the pencil. Okay, so let's go back to the screen. All right, so this is finally what we get by simplifying it first and then by getting it more and more complicated. Okay, this is the process. Oh, donc c'est fini. D'accord, Olivia, tu peux nous montrer le dessin? It doesn't matter whether or not it's finished. Let's see what you have done so far.
I did just begin.
Good, good, good. It's good. Basically, anything basic is already there. All right, this is good. Suho. This is good too. You have more details. Very good. Okay, Donald, can you show us? All right, this is not bad too. We're just missing one talent, but that's not the big deal because what we are learning is the process. Okay, so this is the bird, and how about the animal? In this case, the animal we're talking about is the mammal. Mammal means all the animals that yeah, drinking milk, right? When they're baby. Okay, this is the mammal. And we're using the dog to represent all the animals, at least all the animals that walking on the surface, walking on the land, not in the swimming in the river. So this is the animal, this is the mammal. And how do we simplify it and how do we draw it generally? All right. So the same thing happens when we see an animal. If we want to draw it, we have to learn how to simplify it. For instance, maybe we take the tail off, take the four limbs off, take the ears off, even the mouth, even the nozzle, even the neck. So this is what happens. You draw this time. You draw this dog, and you have to draw it quickly. When I finish the process, you will finish also the dog. Okay. So when we chisel off all the unnecessary details, this is what we get. Here, this meeting is being recorded. Got it. Okay. Here, this is the skull. This is the head, and this is the rib cage, the very important part of a body. In the rib cage, it contains many important organs like a lung, heart, a stomach, etc. And the bottom part, this part is pelvis. So when being simplified, this dog becomes three important basic structural forms. One circle as the skull, another oval as the rib cage, another small circle as the pelvis. All right, when this is done, we start to add some more details, like this one. So what is a mammal? For a mammal, the thing we have in common is the spine. All right, so the spine, it connects the head to the rib cage, and it connects the rib cage to the pelvis, and it goes on, it extends until it becomes the tail. All right, so all those three previously separated parts are connected by the spine. Okay, so when the body is taken, we have to add 4 limbs, and we have to remember that all the limbs, we have 3 joints, no matter what kind of animals they are. All of us, including us, including our human being, all the mammals, every leg has 3 joints, like the number 1, number 2, number 3 that's shown and marked on the screen, 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's get back. You see, I am also a mammal, right? So this is my front leg. So front leg, we have 3 joints. First joint is here. It connects my arm to the shoulder blade. So this is the first joint. The joint means we can move. Yes, exactly, Olivia. This is our second joint, elbow. All right. It's marked it as a number 2 on the paper. And the wrist is the third joint. So we have 3 joints so that our arms can move. So if I am an animal, I am an animal. This is my front leg. 1, 2, 3, 3 joints. All right, so let's go back to the screen. You see, number 1, if this is a human being, number 1 will be my shoulder, and number 2 will be my elbow, and number 3 will be my wrist. So when we draw animals, at least mammals, we have to remember all the limbs, all the legs. We have 3 joints. All right, so 1, 2, 3, and in the front legs, 1, 2, 3 in the back legs. All right, so I believe you have done this also. So let's move on. All right, so let's go back. This is pretty much like the skeleton, the skull, the rib cage, the bones of the legs, the bones of the spine. This is a pretty much a skeleton. So what happens to the next step? We add muscles. We add muscles to this skeleton. Like you see the 4 legs, we see it's getting thicker, it's getting bigger as muscles are added to it. And also the neck, it's getting bigger. And if we look at the head, we can see the nose. It is protruding up because as we can see, the dog, it has a long, comparatively long, long nose. So the nose stands out, and we can see 2 ear. At this angle, we can see only 1. And also the back of the animal. You see the belly as we're adding all the intestines, all the organs to the body. So the body is getting bigger also. And the tail, the legs, the same thing happens. All right. As we're adding more and more things to the dog, it's getting more and more realistic. It's getting more and more convincing, and also it's getting bigger. All right. One thing you have to pay special attention though, when we draw animals, especially when we draw animals back, normally we don't use a flat horizontal line. It's either curving upward or downward, not straight flat line. Okay, because you see we have lots of food taken in our body and lots of intestines, so the gravity will pulls down, so the body will be like a curve, like an arch, not exactly like the flat one. Okay, so this is what happens when we add muscles to this skeleton. All right, so next step we're using some contours, outlines to make this dog look more like a dog. Like we enhance the nostril, we enhance the forehead, we enhance the jaw, some of the paws, and as we can see, the dog is getting more and more real, more and more alive by adding more details. And also at this step, we are using some of the heavy strokes, which means some strokes are strong. It's clearer. It's a stronger. It contours the outline of the dog. Le silhouette de ce chien. Okay. All right. So when this is done, what is the final step? Final step is that we erase all the unnecessary reference lines that we did at the beginning, like the oval as the rib cage, like this small circle as the pelvis, small, not small, a little bit bigger, but smaller than oval, circle as the skull, as the head, and four limbs. All those reference lines will be erased, and it is time for us to use the eraser properly. By the way, the eraser in sketching, the eraser is not merely to erase, to delete lines. It is also very important part of our creation. We're gonna learn that in the future, but today, just to mention it, hopefully you can remember it when next time we come to that point. Okay, so when this is done, we begin to erase all the unnecessary lines. So by erasing the reference lines, this is what we get in the end. You see, the dog is more alive, and even we can see some hairs. I remember when we draw hairs, we don't draw just a single strand. We draw most hairs together, like maybe this bunch together, that bunch together, not every single thread of the hair. Okay, so this is finally what we get as a dog. And here, like I mentioned, we're using dog to represent all the animals. So this is the question. What happens if we want to draw some different mammals like a giraffe, like a hippo, lion, tiger, elephant, donkey? What happens? The basic method is the same. If we want to turn this dog into some other animals like some elephant, the thing we need to do is that make the body fatter, more round, and make the legs more straight and more thick. Make the ears into big triangles, and make the nose like a snake. Make two tasks. Just we modify, we change, not fundamentally using another different method. We just use the same method, but slightly modify here, slightly change a little bit there. All right. So this is, for instance, if we want to draw an elephant, the method is always the same. A oval for the rib cage, a skull, a pelvis. And then we make the body more circle, 4 legs, more thick, more straight. And you see the donkey, make the face longer, make the neck longer, make the legs longer, thinner. And then we turn all the paws into hoofs because this is different. And make the tail thinner, no hair. All right. So this is our basic method of drawing birds and animals. All right. Okay. Let's check one more time. Still the same order. Olivia, please.
Okay, sure. Here's mine.
Good. Good. That dog is furry. It's a good.
Thanks.
Suhong. Good. But the first front leg is a little bit it curves too much. The front leg. As for the back legs, they're perfect. All right, Donald. A little bit to the center because I only see some portion of it.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's good. You haven't finished your back legs, right? I'm sure when you finish the back legs, it's gonna look amazing. It's very good. Okay, so this is a pretty much the method that we're going to use whenever we decide to draw birds or animals. Okay, now here comes the point. Let's just do this first. Do this first. Okay. So today's topic is the ancient Egyptian style of bird and animal. Okay, so let's go back to the topic. Please look at the screen. You see at the screen, all those are taken from ancient Egyptian paintings. It includes some goose, some owl, some gull, cat, cow. For instance, the bird, the method is the same. The body, it looks like a oval, and the head is a small circle. If we make the circle a little bit bigger and attach some feathers, some white feathers at the tip of the oval, then probably we can get an owl. Or if we can make the head smaller and oval a little bit flat and connect the head and connect the head to the body with a long neck, then probably we can get the goose. Okay, so this is how we use the basic method of drawing bird and animals to the Egyptian style birds and animals. Okay, so please use the method that we have learned to pick one bird and one animal, all right, and finish 2 drawings today. So please pick one bird and one animal. Remember this, la façon qu'on a appris, okay? and use this method. Use this method to draw Egyptian style. C'est parti, tout le monde. Pour chacun, il faut dessiner au moins un oiseau et un animal. D'accord? C'est parti. Si on n'a pas de temps, c'est pas grave pour colorer. Mais il vaut mieux si on peut colorer tous les dessins. Mais c'est pas vraiment grave. Ce qui importe, c'est juste la façon de dessiner des oiseaux et des animaux. And in 10 minutes, I'm gonna check. Every 10 to 15 minutes, I'm gonna check. And whatever you have, whatever question you have, you can always ask me, or we can discuss. C'est la façon d'apprendre.